Hello Superset Maniacs and welcome back to my channel. I don't think it's any unknown news for anyone at this point that Nick Walker won the New York Pro this past weekend, and he did it in such a convincing fashion that you guys already want to see him go against the very best bodybuilders in the world. So let's compare him to the best bodybuilder in the world right now, the current Mr. Olympia, Big Ramy. We should be seeing this battle at the Olympia as both of them are qualified already, so let's have a preview to this potential battle right now. And we start with the first pose, the front double biceps. The main difference in their body structures, other than height, Big Ramy being taller, is the upper body lower body proportions, as Big Ramy is more lower body dominant, whereas Walker is upper body dominant. Nick Walker has a larger midsection, thus an inferior V-taper, but he definitely has the better biceps, the better muscle separation through the arms, and apparently the better conditioning. Same thing can be noticed downstairs, but Big Ramy destroys him with overall size at the quad department. This might be a stretch, but this is not one of Big Ramy's best poses. It's one of Nick's best poses. Nick wins the arms, the biceps, also the conditioning, so my first point goes to him for this first pose. Next pose is the front lat spread, and Nick Walker looks impressive in spite of having that blocky midsection and a weak V-taper. On the other hand, Big Ramy has one of the best front lat spread poses of all time, making use of that incredibly wide frame, great V-taper and great lats. For me, this is an easy win for the Mr. Olympia Big Ramy. The side chest pose is a strong one for both of them. Upper body, they match up pretty well, with Nick having small advantages at the arm thickness and forearms, but in my opinion he loses the chest. Downstairs, Big Ramy slams the door on Walker. Overall, Big Ramy is pretty unbeatable in this pose nowadays. Upper body, he's pretty strong, but if anyone matches him there, he definitely compensates with the lower body in order to win the pose. Same thing happened in this comparison, so Big Ramy gets the point. Back double biceps, and ironically in this one it seems that Big Ramy is better conditioned, having better cuts and muscle separation through the back, but he lacks that lower back thickness, or rather he's completely missing it. On the other hand, Nick's lower lat region is nice and thick. He also wins the biceps and the forearms, and even though he loses the glute ham development, I believe his calf superiority combined with the upper body superiority are enough for him to win this pose against Ramy. But in the rear lat spread, Big Ramy is much better. First of all, he is structurally wider, which is always an advantage in both lat spread poses. Moreover, he's got better details in the upper half of his back and also through the lats. Nick's lower lat thickness looks good, and like I mentioned earlier, he wins the calves, but in this pose overall, Big Ramy's got the upper hand, so my point goes to him. Next is the side triceps, and yes, Big Ramy definitely wins the side leg, but Nick Walker has the thicker lateral head, which is most important in this pose. He's also got that Dorian-esque trailing calf, he's got the conditioning, the execution, and all these are enough for him to win this pose against Big Ramy, at least in my opinion. The score is 3-3 right now with 2 more poses to go. Nick Walker manages to give Big Ramy a tough one, guys. Let's see the end and the conclusion of this comparison, shall we? Next is the abs and thighs, and neither of these guys have aesthetic looks, which most people expect, especially in this pose, but in my opinion, this is what I expect to see from a men's open competitor in this pose. I'm not saying that being aesthetic is not an advantage. I'm saying aesthetics should never count more than muscularity in this division. So as long as I see deep cut abs and no stomach distensions like these guys do, I'm totally fine with it. So back to our comparison, Big Ramy obviously has an advantage having a tighter midsection and a wider frame, thus a much better V-taper. He's also got the much better thighs, so overall this pose has to go to him. Last pose is the most muscular, and upper body they match up pretty well, with Nick Walker winning the guns but Ramy winning the chest again. They both have deep cut abs and great conditioning overall. Big Ramy wins downstairs. He's also got an overall advantage upper body in my opinion, so the last point goes to Big Ramy, making the final score 5-3 for him. In conclusion, Big Ramy won the front lat spread, the side chest pose, the rear lat spread, the abs and thighs, and the most muscular. Nick Walker impressively won 3 poses against the Mr. Olympia, the front double biceps, the back double biceps, and the side triceps pose. Given the fact that he's only 26 years old and he managed to do so well against the current Mr. Olympia, I believe it's safe to say that this guy has a bright future and he will most probably be Mr. Olympia himself one day. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this video overall? Let me know down in the comment section. Also like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more, and as always, thank you guys and see you next time.